everyone. This is Doug Davis with Granby Realty, principal broker, and here for another session of Ask Doug. And someone asked me and stated, I'm thinking of buying and flipping a property with a partner. What do I do? What do I need to think about? What are some of the issues? So there's a lot to think about. And number one is the first thought I had was that you should have a partnership agreement and think about all the different scenarios that might come up. What if one of the partners stays in the unit and won't get out? What if they decide they don't want to sell and they want to wait for it to appreciate longer? What do you do with your cash flow then? What if your partner becomes incapacitated for whatever reason? So there really isn't anything like that. There's no boilerplate form for this kind of thing. So it's beholden on yourself to come up with these different scenarios on what your two expectations are. So you get together and think about worst case scenarios, and then you write them down and have your solutions thought about and done ahead of time. Probably won't catch everything, but think about the normal kind of things, and that should help you. Okay, well, that's one, is your partnership agreement and the ins and outs on that. Okay, so what about accounting? Well, there's all kinds of accounting things that you need to go over. So one would be tax, your capital gain. So hopefully you make a profit from this endeavor. So do you wait for 1 year so that you can take advantage of the probably lower capital gain rate versus ordinary income? Remember, when you sell a property and hopefully you make a lot of money, you're going to be in a higher tax bracket. So you want to try to figure out what that gain might be, and then what tax bracket you would end up, and see whether you should wait a year or not. Would you want to do an owner occupant? Do you keep it vacant for a year? Do you sell via a 1031 at the end of it when you sell? So those are all things that you want to figure out now before you jump in, all these kinds of accounting questions. What about, you're going to do a loan? So we want to make sure you're qualified, and what all your expenses would be, your loan, your maintenance fee, your real property tax, your insurance. You're going to have vacancy, and then you're going to have repairs. So you need to know your cash flow, and then you need to know your renovation costs, your ballpark, like what's your plan? Well, what do you need to do to the property, and what do you think it's going to cost you? And one of the big things these days is delay of permits. So if you need to do anything that requires permits, which is basically everything you do needs permits, just about anything over $1,500 requires permits. And you have to get association approvals, although I don't think those would be delayed as long as our Department of Permitting and Planning would be. So if you can't start your work until after your permit is issued, which might be months or longer, you need to figure out that for your cash flow. And what about renting it if you're going to keep it for some amount of time? Short-term renting, half a year maybe. What if one of the partners rents? Is the renting partner going to pay the other partner rent? They should. they're renting it, right? So, okay, so those are some things to think about. How about when to sell? When to sell is a big one. Do you flip it immediately? Again, then that comes back to the accounting of whether you wait for 1 year or you sell it immediately. So you need to have figured out your capital gain versus ordinary income numbers. If you delay selling, well, the market's appreciating, so you're possibly going to make more money the longer you wait, as long as the market keeps going up, which one never knows, but sure looks like it's going to keep going for some time. So anyway, those are just a handful of things to think about if you're going to do a buy and flip and do it with a partner. So a few more things to think about if you're having someone else to do it. And then how do you divvy it up, and what about your workload? Who does what? And do you both feel that that's an even amount of work? Is it 50-50? And are you happy with that? What if someone does less work and you have to do more as a consequence because the other person slacked off or isn't doing what your expectation is? Hope that helps. And that was a real live question that I got the other day, and just gave them some pause for thought on all these different parameters. So I hope that helps you if you're thinking of a similar thing. And that's it. Love to hear your questions, and keep them coming, and hope that's helpful. Thanks.